Welcome back to the lunch table, food for thought. I'm Nico Blitz. Subscribe, like, comment, rate. We're also on YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio app. Just gotta plug everything in so you don't gotta like search for us all that difficult. My next guest though, hella LA. Let me just say that. I'd want to say after listening to his project, you were in my dream. Probably the future of R&B. And let me just make that statement clear. He goes by the name of Xian Bell. Xian, what's poppin', bro?
What's up? First off, I want to say thank you for having me, but for sure, future R&B, that's dope. I'm wrong with that.
For real, man, because like after listening to the project, bro, like I couldn't, not only could I go through it straight through, but I couldn't decide which song was my favorite song.
And that's dope because that's what we have been hearing the most as far as reaction from people. Either they can't decide what's their favorite song, or we'll hear somebody say, "Oh, this is my favorite song." Then the next week, "This is my favorite song," or it's just so many like different like favorite songs. As opposed to my previous project, it was like 4 songs that everybody saying was their favorite. But on this one, every person has a different favorite song. So
no, it's hard because it just sounds like one cohesive project that like I mean, it seems like you could have cranked it all out in like one night because it just sounds so like full and so together.
Yeah, we was working on it for like a year and we had like 3 different tapes. So we was working for like a year. First 3 months we was like, cool, we got a tape. We made 2 bangers. We scrapped the whole tape. Next 3 months we had another tape, made 2 bangers, scrapped the whole tape. So all of the music came from like the tail end of the last like 4 to 6 months of the project.
Oh wow, man! All leading up to February, like the Black History Month as well, but also I guess people see it as like the month of love, Valentine's Day and all that too.
And it's crazy because one of the homies in the camp league was trying to get us to drop it on Valentine's Day. I'm like,
corny. That's hella corny,
like, that's so
bro.
corny. Nah. So we waited a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm actually happy you didn't do it on Valentine's Day.
I wouldn't. There's no way I was letting that happen.
Hell no.
They tried it, but nah, there was no way. Yeah.
So Xian, probably like a lot of people in the world, at first seeing your name, it's Xian Bell. So why is it pronounced Xian instead of like Zion?
So that's the way that my family pronounced it, called me since I was a youngin', because the correct pronunciation in the American language of Xian is Christian, right?
Oh.
And I went to Christian schools throughout the entirety of my schooling, and when I tell you I would get expelled every other month, like, and I would have to come home, and one day my grandma was just whooping my ass. I got expelled like back to back from schools in our area, so I could no longer go to schools in the area. And she had said something while she was whooping me about I get expelled from Christian school so much, might as well spell his name with an X. And my cousins thought that shit was hilarious. So
what the fuck?
So they started like spelling my name like that as a joke, and it stuck, and I just ran with it.
So wait, what's your actual name spelled like?
It's Xian. It's just Keion.
Okay. Dude, that's actually a pretty cool way of like going about things, because you know, like people nowadays they'll just like drop an X in between just to kind of like
but nah, my family actually calls me that, and I got my ass beat so bad one day it literally just stuck.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
So getting dropped out of like numerous Christian schools, like you were a bad kid growing up.
I wasn't bad. I just wanted attention, so I would do shit that it's like I had no business doing, but it wasn't bad. Like I wasn't like fighting or slapping no teachers or nothing. I was a prankster for sure.
Yeah.
Like, a huge prankster and jokester, and it would get mad annoying. So
you were the kid that the teachers were kind of like, man, we can't control this kid.
No, I would listen. It was just be wild, unfortunate shit that happens sometimes. That's honestly out of my control. I had no business being in Christian school. I think that was like God's way of trying to get me out of there. But nah, it would be like random ass shit. Like one day, I've never told nobody this story. In my Christian school, right, we had to come up with like a skit for whatever the fuck. I don't even remember what the skit was for. But the camera that we used, right, like 2 hours before the skit, when me and my dumbass homie had this idea, we was gonna film this something called Girls Going Bananas. So we would go around and say like girls going bananas, and like girls at the school would like flash us or whatever. We would record it.
Wait, how old were you?
I was 13.
Oh my god. You're crazy,
So
bro.
we would go around there and flash us, right? And we recorded it. And we had this dumbass like jingle to go with it, like girls going bananas, whatever. So in the middle of my presentation, we recorded the girls going bananas over the wrong part. So in the middle of my presentation for religion class,
Oh my god.
titties just came up. Titties just came up on the screen. And all you hear in the background is me saying, girls going bananas. So yeah, I got kicked out of school.
Oh, shit. That shit was instant, bro.
Yeah, I got kicked out of school.
Oh
for
my
that.
god, man.
But yeah.
See, I don't know what's worse, like the girls actually showing their titties at 13 on camera, or you accidentally putting it in between your projects.
Girls very
Right.
The girls was he did the whole trick.
No, that was totally accidental.
The girls' ages vary, so it wasn't
Oh, okay.
Like they was just 13. It was in between like 13, 17, but it was like a joke, like, you know.
Yeah.
Like some of them had like like sports bras under, like it was a joke.
Okay.
I think only one girl really showed her titties. Shout out Angelica.
Oh,
she had some fire ass titties.
Damn, Angelica, what up? Holy shit.
But yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably like one of the craziest like stories I've heard from like somebody being a kid, bro. I mean, I can see why they wanted to like get your ass out of that school, especially at a Christian school too.
It was a Catholic school, and you know
school.
Catholics don't play, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got kicked out for that. I got kicked out of one Christian school. One of the homies had just had ear surgery, and I tried to leapfrog over him during the fire drill, and I kicked him in the ear. And it was like, yeah, he's out of here. He's gone.
Damn.
It would just be little shit like that throughout my entire schooling.
Yeah.
And my grandma had enough. She beat my ass.
So then after that, what, you went to a public school?
Yup. So I went to Christian schools all the way through everything. High school, I had got kicked out of another Christian school in like junior year. And in order for me to play basketball, because I played sports, so I couldn't play sports in any city in the region. I got kicked out of LA Unified. So I had to move. And I moved to Pasadena, and I finished there. Then I graduated, went to college, and ironically, I went to a college Christian school. I got kicked out of there. I went to Pepperdine.
Oh, you went to Pepperdine? Mm-hmm. Dude, that's a really good school. One of my ex-girlfriends was like working her ass off trying to get to Pepperdine. Mm-hmm. She didn't get in.
Damn.
But then consolation, she got into UCLA.
Oh, yeah, well, that's better. Well, I mean, Pepperdine maybe for like the academic stamp.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, UCLA, you damn near get a job anywhere. Same with Pepperdine. So.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So what were you studying in Pepperdine?
I was actually studying, I was studying communication with a focus on psychology, and I was a theater minor as well, ironically.
Damn.
Theater is how I learned to start to edit my videos, so I would just be in theater class, like editing like different skits and shit like that. So when I started to do music, I started doing music with Reason. He's signed to TV now. So when we first, as a camp, started doing videos, like I would edit all of our videos. Ironically, I learned how to do that shit at Pepperdine. So.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Dude, that's insane. And you learned all that through theater class.
Mm-hmm. So we would, like, rehearse different plays and shit, and you would have to memorize the plays, perform them, act. And we would also learn to tell in, like, lighting and videography, video editing, and stuff like that. So I learned all that in college.
Dude, that must have been a really good program because, I went to Cal State LA with an emphasis on television and broadcast journalism. And, they taught us how to, like, shoot and all that. But I think the one up that, you being a theater major in Pepperdine is that, like, you get to act and you get to do, like, all the cool behind-the-scenes work, too.
Yeah, it was dope. Ironically, now that I'm more, like, in front of the camera, I was hella shy, like, in that class. So my acting was trash. Like, so I was probably, like an F actor, like a B, like, editor and whatever. So, like, my videos dope, acting was trash. So I ended up getting, like, a C, like, B in the class. But
so then they so they graded you on both like the behind the scenes work and like what you would do in front too.
They grade you on the overall class. I just personally think my grade was a C, B because of my acting. Like it was weird shit that they would have us act out and
what?
Like like
they had us showing our titties in front of the camera.
Kids, they did. Like it was one scene. It was just weird for me. Because it was a love scene with and I was like, I'm cool on this. Like, yeah. I had a chick at the time too, and it was just weird. Like the story was just weird. Like
Oh
the
yeah,
love
man.
scene was between like two like brothers. I was like, nah, I'm cool.
Between two brothers.
Yeah, like actual so they were supposed to be brothers in the book, and then they started to have a romance and all this shit.
Oh, on some incest shit.
Yeah, I was like, nah,
Okay.
I just
Yeah.
I edit this over here.
you ain't get me on that, bro.
I was
Nah.
like, y'all got it, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. I would have dipped out immediately after that, bro. That's
I just chose not to do it. I wasn't gonna drop out the class.
Oh, yeah.
But I just chose not to do that.
So even being like a psych major, like why'd you decide to do that too?
I wanted to be a shrink. Honestly, so I was my first major when I first got to Pepperdine. I wanted to major in psychology, and I was doing very well in psychology, but I played sports, right? You know, with psych, you got a 10-page paper due every week,
And a shit ton of terms to like
right?
try to understand.
So you got to learn. So I would miss practice often, like early as a freshman. And so dead ass, like my academic advisor, my coach that came into me was like, you gotta switch this. Like you're never at practice, you're never in conditioning. Like you gotta change your major.
Damn.
So I then changed my major from psych to communication, with that being the focus. But I dead ass wanted to be a shrink, and it comes out in like my music, because a lot of it is like relationship like based and kind of telling like both sides of the spectrum, from the male side and the female side. But I wanted to be a psychologist growing up.
Yeah. You know, you kind of remind me of myself, like, when I was younger, too, because I would be the type of person where, like, even though I was in a relationship or not, like, motherfuckers would call me, like, I need some advice. Help me out. And I'm like, fuck, dude, whatever. So, you know, the crazy thing was that, like, once I entered, like, a community college, like, I had this idea of wanting to be, like, a psych major.
Yeah.
But then once I actually took the course, I was like, man, there's just a shit ton of terms, and I don't want to keep on classifying people under these terms.
And that's why they say a lot of psychologists are kind of like crazy or loopy, you know what I'm saying? Because different people, it's different like perspective. Each person in their own way is an anomaly. Like psychologists will try to classify you. Like you say one thing, like, oh, that's syndromes. Like, damn, man, I just told you I like beer. Like, like, you know,
You're a drunk, alcoholic.
Yeah, it gets weird to that point. So I'm kind of glad I got out of it a little bit, because I'm already kind of crazy. I didn't need any like more like.
You need more crazy shit going. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I can understand where you're coming from in that.
Yeah, for sure. So communications major then. I mean, that kind of links perfectly with, I mean, everything you're doing between the psychology, the communication, and like the theater acting stuff, that all kind of like ties in with music.
Yeah, so pretty much college just kind of just like intensified my love and my passion for the arts. So I went to Pepperdine and I had like a crazy injury. Like my arm was broken in like 3 different places.
I forgot to ask you, basketball, football?
I played basketball.
Okay.
Yeah, so Pepperdine don't even have a football team. They haven't had one since like 1970. But I played basketball there. Crazy injury, and I graduated early. So I transferred to the University of Missouri to finish there, and I got my master's there. But when I transferred, because of my injury, it was so gruesome, I had to sit out for a year. So when I couldn't play basketball, I started to get into the arts heavy, and I loved music. So that's when I first started to dabble in music. And when it was time for videos, I already knew how to pretty much edit it. The GarageBand and all that was popping, so I started recording it myself on my own computer. And from then till now, it's grown to what it is today. But
damn, man, it seems like you were put, or at least like you were put in like all these positions in which like you could be creative. You know what I mean? Because I feel like nowadays, like people always think about like, oh, well, I'm not put in like a creative space, but it seems like you were fortunate enough to like be in those situations.
I just think it's a mental thing. It's if you want to do it or if you don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like at the end of the day, you can tell yourself you can tell yourself you can't. Whichever one you tell yourself, you're going to be right. So, like, regardless of my situation, like, no matter how much I was playing sports, because sports athlete, like collegiate athletes, their schedule is fucking ridiculous. Like, from start to finish, from nutrition to training to conditioning to school, to tie music into that, like, I did that because I wanted to do that. You know what I'm saying?
So did the injury kind of like solidify that you weren't going to do basketball anymore?
I honestly never wanted to play basketball. Never, ever. My mother wanted me to. When I was like 5 years old, I used to sing in the church choir, right? Like every freaking urban artist starts in a choir. Like if you're a black singer and you didn't start in the choir, like I'm worried about you, you know? Like dead ass. Like so I was singing in the choir, dead ass, and my mom took me out of choir rehearsal and was like, "You going to play basketball?" And I was like, "I'm cool. Like I don't want to sing." She didn't say it mean like that. Like,
no, but yeah.
She was like, "You going to play basketball?" So it's crazy. She took me literally out the choir rehearsal to hoop. And my first game playing basketball was versus this girl that was like fucking baby Barkley. And we had like little short courts and shit. So I swear, I kid you not, the girl was dunking on me and everything. Like, bruh, like,
what the fuck?
We gotta find this girl. She probably somewhere in somebody league making a lot of money, bro.
She's probably in the WNBA right now. Dunking at what, like 13, 15?
She playing with some niggas. She in the NBA somewhere, CBA somewhere. She playing with niggas, bro. She was like,
over here like chest checking and shit, like no blood, no foul.
Yeah, no, she was knocking me over and everything, but yeah, I never wanted to play sports, but I just got kind of good at it. My friends, we played all the time, so just wanted to be able to like hang with them and stuff like that was when I kind of got into sports. Mm-hmm. But I noticed like once the people that I was playing sports with like started to kind of stop, my love for it kind of decreased too. So
I kind of see it because I mean like when we're kids, right? It's a lot easier to kind of just like follow things, especially when your like friends are around you and whatnot. And at the same time, I feel like, especially since your mom was instilling basketball in you, did a part of you feel like you wanted to kind of like just do it because of her?
It wasn't that. I mean, I'm not gonna just say like my mom had a gun in my head.
For sure.
I like once she introduced it to me, there were things about it that I liked. Right? It's like my friends are playing it. There's this level of competition. It's like I can be out all night, like because I had the type of parents that wouldn't let me go out like as often and shit. You know, so I could be out with my friends and shit as long as I'm hooping. Like then I started to get older and the girls start liking people that can hoop. You know what I'm saying? It's like Friday night in high school, like you are the highlight of the week. Like I started to like all that, and then I realized I could go to college like for free. Like I started to like all that. And then you can go overseas, make money, NBA, make money, whatever. That's when I started to like it. But once I realized like my friends dropping off, and it's like we can't go to the gym 6 a.m. workout, train, like talk shit, whatever. Like once I started to lose like all those elements, then I'm overseas playing in a country where I'm literally by myself. It's like, all right, I don't love basketball that much. I don't love basketball enough to live in Germany for 3 years by my damn self.
Did you end up doing that?
Yeah, so
so
shit,
here we go. So now we just opened it up.
So I lived in Italy for a little under a year, 10 months. I went from Italy to China. I left China. Then I went to Israel. Went to Germany, Russia, Poland, back to China, and I quit. So after China, literally when I started doing music full time and only music was 2016. After China, I had just signed a contract to go play in Germany for 2 years. And I remember getting on a plane. It was the day before my birthday. And I'm thinking to myself on the plane, I'm like, I can go to Germany for 2 years when nobody speaks my language. I don't know anybody. I'm spending holidays, birthdays alone. I'm not seeing my cousins and my family age. Or I can believe like this music is going to go somewhere. So I literally, January 3rd, 2016, got off the plane. And from that point on, I just started pursuing music full time. So like my bags and my clothes are literally still in Germany right now.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's insane, bro.
Yeah. I couldn't do it no more. I didn't like basketball enough to be isolated in a country alone.
So did you even try to form any like friendships, relationships like out there? Not necessarily like, you know.
So it's hard because you're only there for like a year, sometimes even half a year, right? And the overseas thing is wild because if your team's not winning, they think it's the Americans' fault, so you're done. Like they when they sign an American, they say, we got LeBron. It's like they just think like, oh, like we got one.
Like y'all are hella good. Yeah,
we about to win a championship. Like, yeah, like he dark skinned, he got a beard, he could dunk. We winning. But yeah, so it's hard and nobody speaks the language, and like it would just be frustrating. Like it would be times in Italy where like we just won. We had an amazing game. We won. I go out to eat. My card is not working over there. I'm asking people, hey, where can I go to get this? And people is the crazy shit, bro. People are fake like they can't speak English just so they don't have to help you.
Oh, that's fucked
It's
up.
fucked up. Like, it'd be 11 p.m. I'll be like, yo, like, where can I go? They'd be no English. And then go straight to the register. Yeah, let me get a cheeseburger. I'm like,
bro, I just seen you like 3 seconds ago, bro.
Yeah, so, I mean, the shit was wild. And honestly, I was only planning on doing the overseas thing for like 5 years and then just like investing all that into music. But I was just like, fuck it. Like, after like 3.5, I was just like, fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, at least you were going through all those experiences just to finally realize, like, you know what, like, I've been through school, I've been through like basketball, but through all that, like, it seems like music kind of just like stuck around throughout the entire time.
Exactly. Like, everything that I was doing was the ultimate end goal was to be successful in music and like run my own shit. It just got to a point where I was like, fuck it, like, I'm not waiting till the right time. I'm making the right time, like, right now.
Whew. Amen.
You feel me?
Amen. Amen. People wait. I mean, I always thought of like the right opportunity. You have to like build up your resume enough just to like get to that point, you know, because like I don't believe that there's just like one shot, like one moment, you know, all that Eminem shit. But but you know what I mean? In order to get to that point, you need to be able to like put yourself in that position for that one shot to even like occur.
You do, and that's why so many people get the label like overnight success, and that may not be like things may change for you overnight, but if you wasn't putting in the work to get that opportunity, then when the spotlight is on you, like you're gonna fail. You know what I'm saying? So like, luckily, I've had a lot of fortunate things like go my way, and even like with the Joe Budden like podcast thing, like
Oh yeah, that was big.
Yeah, that was huge. And after that happened, a lot of people started to tap in. Right now, what would have happened if I ended up on that podcast and I had nothing else? You know what I'm saying? Like if I didn't have other music, if I didn't have videos to roll out after that, if I didn't have a previous body of work, right? It just would have been like I'm known as that one nigga with that one song. So, but yeah, you have to be ready for that moment. In order to sustain any type of success, for sure.
Well, even like in that little snippet of the Joe Budden podcast, it's like nobody's gonna find you if you only have just like one song out, especially in this climate. You need to have like some sort of body of work. Like for instance, like once I first started listening to Blueface, I'm like, okay, cool, Tatiana's cool. Oh, but he has like this whole album I could kind of just like, you know, play in the back and see like what the rest of his music sounds like.
He had 2 albums.
Exactly.
He had 2 dope albums. Like people say what the fuck they want to say about Blueface, right? He had a hit, and when you tap into the rest of his stuff, he got 8 to 10 other bangers. He got the dope personality. It's like once the spotlight is shined on you, it's only going to enhance what you already have. So if you have something, boom. If you got a bunch of roaches around your shit, then
Good luck.
Yeah, you're done.
Good luck. So Xian, man, we actually never got to talk about music too much so far.
Yeah, no.
That makes for a good podcast. But like, who were you listening to growing up?
I listen to everything, and my friends always give me a hard time for it because I'm that friend that's going to put some shit on the aux cord, and people going to be like, what the hell is this? But I listen to everything from Fall Out Boy to Paramore to Outkast, which is my favorite group of all time, Jay-Z, who I think is the best rapper of all time, Nelly, who I think had one of the best entrances into hip-hop ever, how he brought his whole, like, crew or whatever, like, into the game with him.
And
Eminem.
country artists, too.
Hell yeah. Like, Nelly, as far as rapping singing, like, Nelly, to me, was one of the first people that turned rap, like, pop. You know, like, that made it, like,
sure.
like, really pop, like, lifestyle. But Nelly has had a huge influence on me. Eminem, of course. The Weeknd, Frank Ocean, Future is my favorite rapper right now. So, I mean, I listen to everything, bro.
I definitely like could have like told you The Weeknd because of that one snippet you had of like that one chick in one of your songs. She was like repeating like a Weeknd lyric.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I'm a huge Weeknd fan. As far as like R&B pop, I don't really know what to label it. I think he's one of like the best ever. Like House of Balloons, Beauty Behind the Madness are 2 like my favorite projects ever.
Oh yeah, I mean, those records are more very like niche. And if you weren't like up on The Weeknd like back then, you would see like how crazy his career is now and how different it is.
Yeah,
Became way more poppy, but it's still The Weeknd.
I like that. To me, I think an artist that does not trend in that direction, then you're doing yourself a disservice and you're not really true to self, right? Because when The Weeknd first started, he was just a young kid rapping about doing drugs and hanging with women, right? As you get more successful, you get more money, that's not going to be your life forever. Like, I don't want to hear you 28, you still a crackhead and shit. Not to say that he was, but it's like, tell me about like The Weeknd. Like, when he was 20, he's talking about Abel, right? Like, tell me about The Weeknd's life, right? And then you evolve into like the Starboy and shit, which I thought was dope.
Oh yeah, and I feel like in order to like sustain a long career, you need to be able to just like not switch up per se, but be able to dabble into the different genres of music.
You got to. Snoop did it. Like, I tell TG this all the
that
time.
reggae
like,
album.
Yeah, Snoop did. Snoop does everything. Like, I can't wait to go pop. Like, I consider my music pop right now, but as soon as I get the chance, I'm going Bruno Mars on y'all niggas. I'm not playing. I ain't playing around. Yeah, I love Bruno Mars too, by the way. Bruno needs to drop something soon.
Yeah. You like that video? Him and
Cardi? Nah, I like the song. I ain't like the video.
Yeah, I'll second on that too. Because when the song came out, I was like, wow. Just seeing Cardi and Bruno kind of work together kind of solidifies how great they are as like a musical duet.
I think they knew it too. That's why they dropped the song first, then the visual. Because usually it's the other way around. Like, you drop the visual with the song.
Who does
The video? I think it was just weird that it was in one location. Like, they're just in the 4 to 5 minutes of that gets trash. And if you really like pay attention to it, like, it's little subtle shit that pissed me off. Like, her wig is like braided over her ears. Like little shit like that. It's like, yeah, it's like weird.
But I mean, even like the first video that they did together,
I love that
Finesse. Yeah, that was in one thing.
That shit was dope. They started off in the painting room and then they went to like the Saturday Night Live shit. That was dope. And this wasn't that though.
Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't. But even watching like your music video, like Liddy
City.
Yeah, Liddy City, like that shit caught me so off guard after just like the first couple seconds.
Yeah. That was a different time in my life. Liddy City was wild, but yeah, the crazy shit about that video is that was definitely just like a representation of like me and my friends and like how we was living at that time.
Yeah.
Shout out Ricardo. He was the director for that one, Ricardo Navarro. But yeah, bro, that shit. Liddy City was a fun time. That was my crib, my swing, and all that. My bitches. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
How long ago was that? Like 3 years, 5 years?
It was late 2016, so like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a dope ass time.
That was good.
I kept that swing in my crib too, so. Yeah.
I really appreciated the comedy that came like in the beginning of it all too, and then it just boom.
Yeah, that's that theater background, man. But yeah, we tried to, during that time, we was just trying to like just make everything like as fun and people like want to tap in and view it. So implement the comedy, people gonna be interested. Implement the women, nobody's gonna turn that off. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, that's why like I always criticize a lot of like music videos, especially from an artist who's like just coming out. Like, okay, if your music video isn't just like 3 shots of 3 different locations, like I'm gonna invest a little bit more time in you because it seems like you actually tried to put some like work together.
It's so many different markets though. Like there is a market for people that just want to get shit done and get it out.
Yeah.
That market, personally, just from personal opinion, I don't think that market is sustainable as far as long term like career success or growth. And there are some people who, like you said, like take the time and make sure that everything that they release is dope. So I personally try to like lie in between the middle, like middle grounds of both. But I'm the same. Like if I see that you putting in work and like your product you're releasing means something to you, it will then mean something to me.
Oh yeah, for sure. Speaking of putting in work, like I like to keep my circle very like tight knit. So when somebody within my circle will like, I guess like pay homage to somebody, like it's a big deal. So when I was listening to your project, like all I heard was DJ Head's voice. I'm like, damn, this motherfucker. Like I'm at the radio station, he's there. I'm in bed listening to this shit, he's there. What the fuck?
You thought he just crept
Yeah,
up
I was
on
like,
you?
bro, like, why are you here right now? So how do you know DJ Head and Homegrown Radio and all them?
Yeah, so yeah, shout out DJ Head, shout out the whole everything. They actually started with TG who produced the entirety of the project. So when we had made the production
Shout
on
out
there go
TG,
crazy.
man.
Shout out TG, the production on there go
man.
crazy. Yeah. So when we made 2 a.m., I was telling him, I was like, I got this idea for like a radio personality, like could start and end the song, like basically make it like it's on the radio. He was like, oh yeah, cool, I got somebody. I was like, who? He's like, DJ Head. I was like, what? I was like, how we gonna make this happen? He was like, oh yeah, that's people or whatever. So that's how that connection came about. And Head deadass just pulled up to the studio, knocked out his little part, showed hella love, and yeah, that connection came about from TG for sure.
Oh yeah, damn, dude. Shout out to TG, man, connecting all the dots and shit.
For real.
But you know, like, man, just to get like a DJ Head cosign is hard enough, just because like I know the type of music that he likes to listen to. So like, at least, you know, and on top of that, getting him on like your album is like insane.
He's not gonna stamp nothing he don't fuck with for sure. So the fact that he did that was dope. He's not gonna stamp nothing he don't fuck with. So the fact that he did that was definitely dope.
Yeah. So, you know, even like his roots go like all the way back. Like, you know, him and Chuck were the first people to like fuck with Kendrick when he was coming out. First people to fuck with like Schoolboy Q. And like, you know, for you, I think it was interesting. I think I was just on your Instagram and then Reason commented on your shit. And just earlier you said, you know, you and Reason were like kind of like growing up together.
Yeah, so I've known Reason since a young age. Shout out Chuck too. Chuck put up to a listening party and a bunch of different events, and he says great things about the music too. But yeah, Reason. We met each other because he used to hoop too. So in high school, growing up or whatever, we used to hoop against each other, argue sports and music all the time. Sports music. So I started doing music a little bit before him. And then like once he started doing music, it was just like, oh shit, like let's tap in. I had a lot of the same like circle of friends, so we all just kind of just linked everything up together and just pushed everything together. But still to this day, still arguing sports and music. So
Hey man, I mean that's how you know the friendship's still there though.
That's bro. No, that's bro for real. Yeah. That's
so then like, you know, did you guys like ever make any songs together back in the day?
Back in the day, I mean, it depends on what you call back in the day. Because we always make music together. It's just on if it's going to be like released or not. But we got a bunch of songs together.
Oh, even like now you guys have a bunch of songs together.
Hell yeah. I think it's like anytime like any one of us have like an idea for a feature, the first feature that we get is let's put bro on this. So that's just like a natural thing that's always gonna be. But what a lot of people don't know on his album that just released, the There You Have It project, I got 2 songs on there, and a lot of people don't know I did all the skits. So
oh, what?
Uncle Rufus, Grandpa Rufus, that's me on that.
That's
moment.
you?
Yeah.
Oh shit. That's crazy.
It's crazy because a lot of people don't know that, but I hear my voice, so to me it's just kind of like people should know, but nah, not many people know that shit.
Our video guy is like on our team.
Yeah.
Like kicks it with us every day. He just realized a week ago that was
Yeah, he had texted us in a group
Here
chat
we
randomly.
go.
Like he had randomly texted us like, "Hey, like, is this you?" I'm like,
I mean,
yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah.
That's you?
Yeah. I'm so in love with you. Yeah, that's me, cuz.
Yeah, you know what? Now that I'm looking at the track list again, I thought I saw your name somewhere before because you're also on Bottom and Drive Slow Tastes Like Heaven.
Yeah, so yeah, we did Bottom. It's crazy how Bottom came about because I had a feature of him on my last project called Xian Bell or whatever. We shot the video for that too. He's in that video and he was getting all the love in the video. Like he was in the section with all the women and all that. And I'm like, what the hell? Like this is my video. And so my like my homies was telling me at the shoot, like, bro, he watched you on this song. I'm like, no, he didn't. They like, bro, he did.
I'm just saying.
So like literally the next day he sent me a record which was Bottom. And I had all the voices of the homies in my head, so I was like, bet. So I gassed that verse. That's how Bottom came about. But the Drive or the Taste Like Heaven joint, the Drive Slow Taste Like Heaven joint, That was originally my track, so it's on the intro on my last tape. But he fucked with it so much, he made his own like little version to it and threw it on his tape too.
Oh, that's crazy. So then how come you didn't want to, like, I mean, even though, like, Reason really loved that record, how come you didn't want to just, like, keep it to yourself and put it on your album?
I put my version on my album because it made sense for the intro. Now, when I tell you this, that I am very, very, very bad at picking which one of my songs will be good. Like I'm very bad at that. So honestly, the Taste Like Heaven record, I wasn't going to even do anything with. The Liddy City record, I wasn't going to even do anything with, like, those records. But Reason was like, bro, like, these records are dope. Like, if you don't do something, I am. You know what I'm saying? Type of deal. So I was just like, all right, well, I'll put it as the intro. But if it wasn't for him, I wasn't going to do nothing with that. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have done nothing with Liddy City. And those were two of my biggest records. Yeah. Literally, so. Yeah.
Damn, bro. Well, because, like, I feel like, do you as an artist, especially listening to your music over and over again, do you ever feel like all your songs are just, like, really fucking good?
I'm just extra. Like, even when I play sports, like, I'm just an extra individual, and I am trying to impress myself. So the songs that I typically like are songs when I do something that I may not have done before, or some things that I didn't know I could do. So when it's just something that's it's just me singing well, or maybe like a vibe, like something I know I could make like 1,000 times, I may not be impressed by it that much, but I got to get out of that for sure and cater more to listeners.
Yeah, well, I feel like at that point it's just a matter of having like all the right players in the room when you have your studio project done, and then that's when they decide like, oh, like this is the one, this is the one, this is the one.
And that really helps when the people in your circle are genuine homies, you know what I'm saying? It's just not like yes man, and that's what I love about like our circle and our team. Like they will tell us when we on some bullshit. So, so it's got us very far for sure.
Yeah, no, that honestly makes for a great formula, bro, because the last thing you want is motherfuckers to just like bullshit you like, oh yeah, you know.
Yeah, this hit you hot.
That's the one, that's the one. Then you see your career just go.
Yeah. So nah, we not on that. Day one homies that's not afraid to critique, homies that's not afraid to tell us that there's some bullshit. You need that.
So with TG producing your last project, right? Like, did you have any creative control over what he was producing, or did you kind of just like let him do his thing?
I wouldn't call it creative control. We work together, but it's a little bit of mix of both. So on top of me being bad with picking which one of my songs are good, I'm very bad at describing instruments. So TG is like a translator. So like I'll hear him working on something, and then I'll be like, yeah, no, throw that like throw that shit in there. And at first he'll be like, what? Then I'll say it a couple more times and he'll get like what I'm saying. But what typically happens is we'll have our session time. I'll walk in. He may already be playing something. If I'm feeling the track, like I'll get up, start walking around because I don't write anything, and then I'll come up with the song, whatever I want to say on the spot. If I'm not, I just be like, let's go next track. But towards the tail end of the tape, like the last 3 to 6 months, we got to a point where everything that he did, like I loved. Everything I did, he loved. So that's how the project like came about.
So then even in a total, like how many songs did you have to like go through in order to come down to your project?
We got 500 songs together.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah. 500 songs. No lie. We got over 500 songs together.
One day I posted it on Instagram and I was like scrolling.
Oh my God, dude.
We work, bro. We don't fuck around. We work. And when we make songs quick, like you pull up, we'll have a 2-hour session, lead that 2-hour session with 3 songs, like 3-4 songs. So
damn, and you don't write anything.
Off the top, boom, go in there, get it done, wrap it up, next track.
You know, your work ethic kind of reminds me of Dr. Dre.
For real?
Yeah, because
that's crazy, though. That's a crazy compliment.
Well, because like, so I mean, I literally was just at Aftermath Studios just yesterday, and like the studio manager was telling me like the way Dr. Dre works is like he'll just like walk into the studio, he'll make the beat. You know, if people are like writing whatever, but like if he's feeling it, he's like, cool, let's keep it going. If he's not feeling it, all right, we're just
it.
gonna like dip. And essentially what it is, it's just like the power of now. And now he's like really into like what's happening at that moment.
That's crazy you say that, because I am so that, like, I'm like, what are we doing like right now? Like, none of that bullshit what we trying to set up, what we gonna do 2 weeks from now. Like, even if somebody tells me like about an idea or something they want to do, I'm like, all right, do it. Like, do it right now. But no, I highly believe in that policy. But also, it's like once you make certain records that you know are dope, you're not gonna waste time making a record that's not as good. You know what I'm saying? So if it gets to a point where I don't think this record gonna be bigger than the last one we made, it's like, why are we even doing it?
Yeah, for sure. You definitely. That's why, again, going back to your project, it's really hard to try to pick like what's my favorite song, because they're all so fucking good.
Yeah, they all fire and they all mix well. The production on everything is dope. So I have a hard time picking myself too. My favorite changes every day.
Yeah. That's what's up. Xian, man, you've given us like so much information. I do got to ask you about this though, because I really appreciate the crucifix on your neck.
Yeah.
So what's your relationship like with the man upstairs, so to speak?
I'm very spiritual. Again, like growing up, like my mother like had me in a church at a very young age, not only just in the church, but just teaching me different things about spirituality as a child, like even just outside of like biblical principles, whether that be like what you're putting like inside your body, like as a person, like times where you have to like shut everything down and just like get your like mental right. Just like for like 2 days before this, I wasn't even eating. I was just on like a whole just like water cleanse, just trying to like get like everything like right internally. So yeah, but no, I'm extremely spiritual.
So what did the water cleanse do to you?
You just so like, I mean, depending on like different things that you eat and like put inside your body, like they just slow down like the entire process from the mental process to the physical process, like the emotional process. So after like a long time of putting bullshit into your body that you don't normally do, because I usually eat like very clean, like healthy, like I was vegan for a number of years.
Oh, wow.
After you go a while putting that bullshit into your body, you got to drain it, like flush it out to get like back into like you, into like yourself, your principles, and like what you believe in. And like a lot of the things that I record, well, not even a lot, like all of them that I record, I don't write. So I have to have a clear like state of mind to go in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
To go in there to like feel the beat and to like really get like what's inside of me out. Like I have to be like from top of my head to the soles of my feet, like clear and ready to go. So if I feel like that starts to slow down at any time or deter me like from like my artistry, I just shut it down, cleanse it, boom.
Wow, man. And so like it really goes back to like just what you feel on the inside can really affect like what happens on the mental.
Everything is connected. Every single thing is connected, bro. Everything. And then just from like what freaking like timing or like numbers that you see, like I'm real big on like numerology and affirmations, like in regards to like catching the time at like a certain time, like whether that be like 11:11, which I put on like all my clothes that I on my merchandise stuff that I designed. It's like 11:11 means like the manifestation of like your wildest dreams like about to occur. And I just noticed this could just be a Xian thing, but I just noticed like when I'm not right, I'm always like a minute off of seeing that or like 2 minutes off of seeing that. So I just try to get it right and get back in line.
Yeah. I had this conversation with this girl named Tree Safari. She's from like 070 Shakes crew. Mm-hmm. And she was talking to me about how like, I guess there's like angel numbers that go around. Like I think hers was probably like 10, 10, 10 or something. Mm-hmm. And it's basically a set of numbers that you see throughout your life that point you in the right direction.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly what that's dope. Yeah, shout out, what was her name?
Tree Safari.
Yeah, shout out Tree Safari, because that's exactly what I was trying to say, but she just said it way better.
You know, between like the both of you now, I kind of want to like dabble into like some numerology and see like...
Yeah, bro, get into it. Get yourself right. And then once you start to pick up on all those signs, bro, like you will be guided and just headed into the right direction for sure. I'm not saying that you're just going to wake up like, oh my God, but once you start to pick up on it, you will understand. Like, it's kind of hard to describe, but you understand.
No, it's all good, bro. Mm-hmm. So this is what I'm going to do now. After this podcast, I'm actually going to look up like a whole bunch of stuff on numerology. And the next time I have you on the show, we're talking nothing about like, we're talking everything about numerology, bro.
I'm with it. I'm for sure with the manifestation. So yeah.
Xian Bell, man, thank you again, bro. Like this was a dope podcast. Quick and concise, bro. I fuck with it. I fuck with it.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Where can everybody find you, man?
Cool. So social medias are the same across every platform. So XIAN_Bell. I know it's spelled a little funky, but it's pronounced Xian. So XIAN_Bell, Twitter, Instagram, all that. As far as the music, it's literally everywhere. Type in the project "You Were in My Dream," or you can also just type in the artist name Xian Bell. It's on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, all that jazz. Merchandise. Just got a website up, KeonBell.com, so you can go ahead and check that out also. So
You plugged everything, bro. Plugged
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Also, like any other like music coming out for 2019, or are you just doing music videos straight up?
Of course. So we got a couple music videos on the rollout. We have a deluxe version of the "You Were in My Dream" album dropping very soon, and we have another project queued up and ready to go. Like I told you, we got over 500 songs, so we ready to roll.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I'm Nico Blitz. This is the Lunch Table. Xian Bell. We are out of here.
Yay.